That's to you, I think, Mr. Manager.
Yeah, this matter came up from standing also. It's a request from Miramichi Speedway to long-term lease or acquire 4 separate parcels of city property that essentially made up the former Benny Votor baseball field. There's a map attached to the request. Staff have discussed it. The directors of engineering and public works have indicated that this property is probably going to be used for some type of water development or well development on the north side. And what we're considering, we're going to ask council to allow staff to do is, well, we're not going to recommend you sell or long-term lease it, to allow us to work with the owners to see what uses they can make of the property, either for enhanced parking, like they say in their letter, or other uses, which, you know, until we get around to developing a well, there could be some use they could make of it, instead of just a straight up, no, we're going to use something or make something there down the road. So if council wants to, ultimately it's going to require an answer to the question of will you sell. But I guess I'm saying that the recommendation is in all likelihood going to be to decline that, but to work with this person and see if there's use that they can make of it, short of ownership. So subject to any questions, that it would be on its way to council, I guess.
Mr. Manager, on the map, is this the Speedway?
Is that the Speedway is across the road?
Across the road. Okay.
I don't believe we have a formalized parking agreement. We're aware they're using it for parking. It's necessary. There's, as they've mentioned in their letter, when they have big crowds, there's cars parked on the sides of the road. And anything we could do to alleviate that and allow them to use our property, as long as they're insured. You know, we're not looking to recoup money or make money, just to have it when and if you go to need it. So.
Any questions or comments from members of council? No. Just one comment, Mr. Manager, not somewhat indirectly related, but on the idea of the potential future use of this location for future water development. I'm not sure how far out that might be, but if it was something that staff, you know, wanted council to sort of formally identify that is an intention, even if, you know, I think that would be something I'd be interested in hearing about.
I'll get further details, but the Director of Public Works had no hesitation in saying that area was identified as a potential well site, but it may not happen. Yeah. So if we can get a timeline for you for that, and the chances of that happening. The other secondary use was they were confident that some piping will have to go through this. I don't know if that's a big issue for the owner or not, but I'll get you those details about.
Yeah, just like, you know, in terms of formalizing what might be already informally intended, like if the city was to say this, it would be a vision, or, you know, rather than the directors saying, well, we kind of might have this idea, if they wanted council to sort of solidify the plan, would be open to doing that.
We're anticipating an updated overview of the Newcastle water development project in light of the cost overruns.
Right.
And this part could be part of that presentation.
Yeah, sort of the longer term, once we finish that Newcastle project.
Yeah, because it's all connected.
Yep, great. Thank you. Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Well, I was just going to say, Your Worship, if I may, that I can certainly appreciate what Mr. Rishore and his crew here at Miramichi Speedway are doing. So I do concur with Manager Manager Noel, that, you know, not say no, but extend an olive branch or an open hand and see where we can take this, because you know when it's race weekend in Miramichi, there's cars from everywhere, so I can appreciate what they're doing on behalf for themselves and their own business, but the community at large as well.
Yeah, if they can address the safety issue and perhaps in some way enhance their event in the short term, that's great. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Manager. So I guess the next step